So, back in September, we did some September milestones. One of which that I came up with was the advice stream segment, inspired by other Twitch streams that do similar things and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. I thought it could be fun to have some one-on-one conversations with people from the community, my stream community, and see if I could help them out. I spend a lot of time on stream answering questions and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we can go a little bit more in-depth one-on-one topics ranging from gaming, TF2, all the way to, I don't know, what else? Career, personal advice, who knows? I'm hoping to help some people out. That's the goal. I will say, I'm an expert at TF2. I've been streaming full-time for 5 years. I'm 26 years old, so I've lived the life that I've lived. I've learned some things. I've opened my mind to other things, and maybe I have a different perspective that people could find useful and interesting. But by no means am I the master of all things. But I hope to treat this as more like a friend, someone that you have you could treat as like an equal or whatever, not as someone commanding someone to do things, but more just trying to support them through whatever situations they may be in. All right. So that's the goal. We've got 2 people signed up already to come on in. I organized all this through my Discord. So we're going to go ahead and get the first person in. I think we should bring on Conniekins. You ready to go? Are you ready to go? If you could, Conniekins, please do me a favor and join a voice channel, and I'll drag you in. Conniekins posted about, some topics regarding TF2 and also esports stuff. So I'll let him explain, and let's get this started. If things are a bit awkward, so be it. We'll make it happen. Yo, how's it going? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Chat.
Connie, welcome to the inaugural b4nd-Aid advice segment. Yeah, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How are you guys doing? Chat and yourself.
I'm doing pretty well. I think
Nice.
everyone on the stream is curious about what's about to happen, but mostly I've seen positivity. So yeah, let's see. So what I'd like is just for you to maybe give a bit of background or introduction on yourself, and then explain your situation, and we can get started. Yeah, so why don't you go ahead?
Okay, cool. So, my name is Conniekins. I've been doing esports. I've been working in the industry for about 4 years. I've basically kind of just started off doing like Smash tournaments, and just recently started getting into some more kind of intensive stuff. Kind of like I used to kind of just be in the background. I would only do like commentary or like one job at a time. But just recently I've kind of been like taking the helm, doing pretty much every job possible, like all at once. So, just a lot on the table. But I recently worked with an org that is actually located on my college campus at Golden West College in California. And we're a team called Esports Elites, and basically they want to host LANs and
Thanks,
stuff,
Turbo.
and some other events. So I really wanted to get a TF2 event going, and I remember I got a chance to talk to you a little bit at TwitchCon. You said to start small, and even then I've kind of realized, it's a little bit tough, even with even with a team of people, like just kind of like myself and like 2 buddies that are working on this. We've realized we needed outside help, so I'm just kind of curious, what it would take to do like a small like local scale LAN, and maybe what people would like to see, just get some opinions.
Cool. All right, thanks for sharing, man. So your main focus for advice is about maybe exploring how to grow your like esports project and to branch out into TF2 events, possibly.
Yeah, just
Start there,
small,
maybe.
like you said, and then maybe down the line get something rewind-esque.
Cool. All right. Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, we did talk briefly at TwitchCon. It's cool that you're a local guy near where I'm at, trying to make stuff happen in esports. Definitely a good place down here in Southern California for esports. There's a lot of opportunities for sure. But maybe it can be difficult to, find out where they are and to make some connections or whatever. So, my advice definitely start small is where I would reiterate that. But I'm curious, like what kind of resources do you have at your disposal? Like, what events have you run, or why do you think that there's a hurdle for you to expand in the way that you want to?
That's a good question. So a lot of the equipment we actually have very conveniently 12 computers exactly that are up to standard for an event as such. We got a computer dedicated just to streaming, some other stuff of similar nature, just basic streaming equipment. But I kind of, oh shoot, I forgot what was the second part of the question.
Yeah, I was just asking, like, um, what hurdles in particular are you noticing? Like, so it sounds
Oh,
like you have computers and you have people that are passionate about it. So what's stopping you from, throwing up your first event?
right. I would say
Sorry about the
honestly,
shaking.
probably just like people, 'cause I feel like it's really tough to kind of just take anybody because a lot of people, don't really know TF2, like, because like let's say I need a spectator, like that'd be kind of hard because some people, aren't really familiar with the game, aren't sure what point of views to switch to, or commentators. Some people don't know what to talk about. So I would say kind of in that sense, I guess just, people that kind of know what they're doing and maybe just some support in that sense.
Hmm. Well, I will say it sounds like some of those things are sort of details. They're things that you learn, with experience. How to spectate properly, how to commentate. Um, when I say like start small, and what I mean is just like make something happen. Do anything, even if it's just 12 random people playing some TF2 and some random inexperienced commentators. You'll learn so much more by just doing that than sitting around thinking that you need to have the perfect first event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's definitely like mentally where I fall short is because like I want it all to be like super good, but I
Mhm.
think honestly just having something like small, casual, and just kind of like fun to watch is probably
Yeah.
more of the angle I should go down.
Yeah, you can build up to it. Once you build like that community, tight knit group, people kind of like have a good rapport with each other. And you guys are all just focused on improving things. You take the feedback, you learn from it, and you just slowly adjust it. Um, yeah, something like that I think could lead to something incredible down the line if you just stick with it.
Hmm.
Um, were there any other like particular issues that you were encountering? Like, do you think that if you spread the word, you could get 12 people to show up to play TF2?
Yeah, I definitely do think that could totally happen. I was just kind of worried, like, just kind of like if let's say I were to
Hey
announce it,
Rebel,
since
thanks
I
for
know a
six
lot of people are
months
like really
resub.
hungry and wanting a LAN, I was kind of scared like it'd be like kind of
Maybe
overkill,
ask
like
me
too many
later.
people would be trying to join type deal, or maybe I'm just aiming too high. But I definitely think maybe just like you said, just going really small and just treating it like I don't know if you've ever seen like some of those like really old school like melee events where like the
Mm-hmm.
quality's like super garbage and everybody's just like screaming.
Yeah, have that
Some,
picture in your mind. Like
yes.
that's what some people are gonna have a blast doing, and they would love to take part in that. Not everything needs to be like you said, rewind land or whatever. Um, yeah, that grassroots feel, it's good. People like that, but it can be just the starting point. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think you're gonna do? Given that, like, are you comfortable with the idea of not having a perfect, amazing event for your first one, but just starting small? Tell me what your plan would be then.
Yeah, so I guess now kind of with the different mindset of, just having something a bit more laid back, not treated too seriously, but still, like effective and looks good, I think going into it, just kind of treating it as something that people, are able to, just have fun with, relax, just pretty loose commentary.
Hmm.
I think just maybe kind of, I guess kind of, I don't know how to say it, but I guess like kind of like fun, like laid back atmosphere, but at the end of the day, like still like entertaining content is what I'm probably going for then.
Mm-hmm. Um, so you've also participated in like Smash tournaments or organized some yourself.
Yes.
Is that similar to what you've done with Smash?
Yeah, yeah. Back, that's actually very funny that you bring that up. Because I was looking at some VODs the other day of some of like our old commentary and production and stuff. A lot of what we
Mm-hmm.
did, we kind of just like messed around. Like we would just kind of like, I guess, be more comedic than we would serious most of the time. Like for Easter or whatever, we decided to like dress up as the Easter Bunny and like commentate, stuff like that. So I think maybe going down that alley for TF2 because that's something you don't really see in TF2 too much. It's usually like relatively serious. So I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe just showing a fun side to the local SoCal community could be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mentioned earlier on stream, but I was browsing through like a bunch of Smash VODs and just watching some tournament VODs of Smash. It was like really chill and all that, and it actually made me really want to go to more of those sort of events. I think that yeah, I think that there's definitely a market for that. And in TF2 in particular, there's very few people doing things like that. Like you would probably yeah, you'd probably be one of the only people I could think of that would be pursuing anything like this, to be honest. I've heard of a couple people, in a similar situation where they have connections with a school. They want to maybe start like a esports club or, um, get a TF2 like club or something like that. And, they're disappointed that all they see is League of Legends club or Overwatch club or whatever. And they want to get something going in TF2, but I've never actually heard anyone go for it. So if you did go for it, I think you would be sort of setting yourself apart, and you'd have kind of a monopoly in a way on that sort of project. So it could give you some opportunities there. I actually ran a couple tournaments here in SoCal a few years ago, which
For
led
TF2 or
yeah, yeah, yeah. It led into I guess sort of it led into what ended up being Rewind, where I just partnered with a local um, like LAN center. It was I think they're out of business now, but they were set up in a mall, and it's just they had computers. They were looking for more people to come into the LAN center, and so they partnered up with me to be the tournament organizer and the promoter and all that. And they basically just gave me the opportunity to run my own LANs, and I did two of them. They were pretty fun. I called it the TF2 SoCal series. We did two of them, and I've actually been thinking about resurrecting that, what that would take. So there may even be some collaborative opportunities here since we both have a similar passion.
Yeah, totally. If you ever need anything, feel free to hit me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, hopefully SoCal series makes a comeback. That'd be super sick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I was just trying to, get the juices flowing for you. I don't want to like kill your dreams or say like, you shouldn't pursue that. I'm going to do it, cuz definitely not what I'm saying. Um
Fanny crushes my dreams live on stream.
no, I'm not trying to do that. I really would like to see you try to make something happen, and I'd even be curious, if you do schedule something to maybe check it out myself, since it's
Yeah.
local and all that. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, just really quick, somebody in chat asked what SoCal was. It's Southern California. But yeah,
Yep.
I'll kind of get to the drawing board, I guess, with my buddies, just make sure that it's something we can, do, make it look good, and once it looks good, we'll just kind of have at it and enjoy ourselves. And I guess I'll get back to you if once we start.
Cool. So I did see you had some other topics, maybe, but do you mind if I just ask you some other questions out of curiosity?
Of course.
Sure. So, what other kind of events are you trying to run with your PCs and all that? Or are they just sitting there
Right.
collecting dust?
Well, what we do is we kind of use it as like a kind of like esports arena, how you can like rent to play. Um, something similar to that. So we're usually open like 11 to 8 p.m. People can pay $4 to play for an hour, or they can pay $40 to play for a month, so long as we're open.
Hmm.
Um, but we also have Super Smash Brothers tournaments every Friday here in SoCal. We also just this week we're actually doing every Wednesday. We call it Cross Kick Challengers. We're doing FIFA, Lethal League Blaze, and Super Blood Hockey.
Hmm,
So we're trying to get some weekly events, and then we're also setting up an Overwatch high school kind of tournament for
cool.
January. So yeah,
I've never heard of Super Blood Hockey. Sounds
yeah,
brutal.
it's an indie game that we're good buddies with the developers. They kind of
Ah,
sponsor us. So
cool.
yeah.
What's your most popular event or game like at the
Uh,
time?
definitely Smash right now. We've had a lot of people because we're actually recruiting players at the moment, so we've had a lot of interest in Overwatch and League of Legends. But event-wise, Smash is definitely the most popular.
Cool. What's the turnout like?
The turnout is
Yeah.
pretty good. We usually get like 15 to 20 something people, so pretty good turnout.
Yeah, sounds pretty solid. So you guys are somewhat experienced with like actually running the tournament and managing a crowd of people and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, those skills will definitely go far, no matter what game you're running. So that's really good experience for sure. Um, Another opportunity you may have seen. Just going to mention this. There's a upcoming Dream Hack in Anaheim. Could be
Yes.
a good opportunity for you to explore. Maybe volunteer. I know Eckstein was posting looking for volunteers. Um, I got in touch with him myself, seeing if maybe I could get involved. Could be something good for you as well to
Oh
gain some
yeah,
more
yeah.
experience and see what uh, those events take to run and get a peek behind the curtain.
Um, yeah, so I actually did message Eckstein. He posted like his Discord link or whatever in that TFTV thread.
Hmm.
So I did message him, kind of say like, I've always loved TF2, like I'd love to commentate it, So hopefully, because I know it's kind of like a maybe if they're even gonna do it, but if that is the case, it'd be honestly an honor because
Uh-huh.
I love TF2, so it'd be
Well,
super sick.
as far as I can tell, the Dream Hack is happening. Whether there's TF2 there or not, that may be sort of up in the air. But even if there isn't
That's
TF2,
true.
I think it would still be a good opportunity for, you to gain some experience. Um,
Hmm.
I'm just curious. When you messaged him, did you like actually? Did he reply? Did you guys set something up?
Yeah, he did reply to me. He did kind of say, like I can't remember too much of it. It was pretty short what he said, but I kind of gave him some experience like about myself, told him how long I've been in the industry and stuff, and just said, like I'd love to commentate TF2. It's like a huge passion of mine, and he said he'll get back to me if the event, kind of goes. But for now, he's just in the planning stages, and he said he'd
Okay.
get back to
All right. Cool. Yeah. I'm just glad that you established like communication, so you guys are all on the same page. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, that was just one opportunity that's coming up. There's honestly a lot of things like that. If you're just looking to scale up, another thing I'll say is just like it it's cool that you have your own project right now. You're gaining the experience doing that, but at some point, there may be a time where it's time for you to spread your wings and maybe go to a bigger project or a bigger organization that's putting on the type of events that you want to see. Because if you're limited by the resources you have where you're at, then maybe you just need to be, you know, at a place that has the resources that you need. You know what I mean?
me. Yeah, that's honestly how I feel. I mean, not to kind of toot my own horn, but one of these days I want to be able to commentate some big event like Evo or something to
Mm,
Overwatch League of levels. But I mean, we'll see. I'm still taking baby steps.
okay. So for you, what's more like exciting? Is it pursuing commentating or is it pursuing like tournament organizing or competing? Like what specifically is there one in particular?
For me, it's commentary. I've been, wanting to do it since I was like in middle school, and I finally got the opportunity to do it a couple years ago, and ever since I just haven't stopped.
Okay. Okay. So why don't we focus um a little bit and explore the commentary side of things? I'm just curious what so your goal is maybe to commentate Evo. That would be like your end goal, right?
Yeah, I'd kill, bro. I'd kill to commentate Evo.
Okay. So just tell me what kind of things have you been doing to hone your skills in commentating and sort of raise your profile and like yeah, so your brand, whatever. What have you been doing?
Right. So, currently, like I said earlier, I've been doing the weeklies. So I've been kind of commentating those whenever I get the chance. So that like gives a lot of footage for me, so that way I have stuff. But and anytime I'm at an event, I'll ask to commentate, like whether I know the game or not, just to kind of put myself out there. There's like a super embarrassing clip of me commentating some Street Fighter. And
Oh, really?
I asked who Alex Valle was. Unironically, he's like a Street Fighter legend. And I
Yeah,
didn't know
I've
who he
even
was.
heard of him. I've
Yeah, he
never
laughed
played
in
any
my
of those
face,
games.
bro.
Who the
But
your co-commentator, or
he
was it
my
to
co-commentator
him?
was Valle,
Oh
yeah.
no.
Then he's like, is this kid serious? It's like
Oh
my favorite
no.
clip ever. But
Damn. Did you talk to
it
him?
was-
Did you
yeah,
get some wisdom from him?
yeah. I kind of like I knew like Street Fighter 2, but the way they were doing the tournament was every match they would switch games because they had like the Street Fighter like collection that came out, right? I was just kind of there, and they're like, "Hey, we need a commentator," and I was just like, "Okay, screw it. I have my jersey on, so why not?" So I show up and I commentate, and like I know like a minute in, I have no idea what this game is, so I'm just like using all these big buzzwords to like sound funny. I'm like, "Oh, the super move," But
You're being
but
the hype man.
pretty much, yeah. And like half of chat was like, "This is the best thing I've ever watched." The other half was like, "I'm leaving the stream. This sucks."
Yeah,
But
maybe we do need to supply the clip if you can
yeah,
track it down.
I have it. You want it?
Yeah, post it in chat.
All right, let me look on my Twitter. But while I'm looking for that, so basically what happened was Alex Valle came up and I shook his hand and went, "Hello, sir. What's your name?" And he just laughs in my face, bro. He
Oh,
laughs in my face and he's like,
really?
"Does this kid know where he is?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm in Santa Ana, bro." Like,
Was
'cause I'm
this
like,
at Esports Arena?
yeah, because I'm like,
Okay.
there's no way I'm coming out of this. I'm just gonna play dumb. So like,
What was the event, by the way?
it was Wednesday night fights.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those happen every week, right? Are you going to those every week as well?
I can't because I'm working at the current Esports Elite's
Gotcha.
place, so I don't have time. But
Okay.
soon.
Hmm. All right. Are there any other events that you're looking to branch out into, maybe, and try and apply to commentate or anything like that?
I've done a couple Smash majors. I've done like two. One called Smash at Church, and the other was Tempest 3. But I guess if anything, one of my questions would be, how would I go about asking people to, commentate those bigger scale events?
Hmm. So I will say I'm not super experienced in that department, but I think it's good that you keep doing the events that you have access to. Keep that up. Maybe try and spread like some content more. Like I don't know if you're promoting your own clips on your YouTube or something, like getting a reel or something together. Do you have that?
I have a couple that I've uploaded. I don't know. YouTube's weird because it's
Tag PM
so
you. Thanks for
as
12
a
months.
starting creator, it's so hard. But I do find a bit of success just on Twitch. So,
Uh-huh.
but that is definitely something I could look into. I think I just gotta be way more consistent. Oh, I found the clip by the way. But
Yeah, post it.
yes. All right. I'm ready for chat to laugh at me.
Let's see.
But yeah, that is something I'm just kind of curious what
Oh my
angle I
God.
would want to go down.
That's so
I'm
many
not sure
views.
whether I want to go for something funny. A lot of my Twitch followers, they like to poke fun and laugh at me, like just at my own expense. So maybe that's probably the route I should go down to an extent. I'm not sure, but
From what I can tell, I think that it's pretty clear that your style is like very like lighthearted, high energy, kind of not taking yourself too seriously kind of thing. And I think you should definitely, play into that. Are there any commentators that you sort of admire that you, have learned some things from, like in that style?
yeah, I guess D1 is a huge example. There's literally I was just thinking of a commentator
Hmm.
the other day, but I can't remember.
D1.
Um,
Isn't he a bit more like chill?
no, he screams, bro. Like
Okay.
that's what he's known for. He just screams all the time. But I don't know. There's a commentator I'm thinking of. I
In
can't think.
Smash?
Yeah, I don't know why. I totally blanked. But
I think the comment I don't know commentators that well, but if
yeah.
I saw your clip, I don't know, who are you most like? I think there's a guy named Max. Maybe you're similar to him. Or there's a guy named I don't know. I probably couldn't say for sure. But there's probably
Yeah.
some like some similar commentators that prove that there is room for that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of my goal is like to be funny, but not like too funny to where I get in like a cringe comp or something, you know?
You can't worry about that, man.
That's
Any
true.
publicity
That
is
is
good
true.
publicity. And if you're just, trying your best, like that actually could be the thing that like elevates you to the next level. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know. Sometimes I worry, bro. Like I get a like I'll see people like kind of like bully my commentary or say like, "Oh, this guy's dumb," you know, and like sometimes it does get to me, admittedly,
Hmm.
but I think I just got to get over that, you know, like there's always going to be someone that is
Yeah.
they're
That's
annoying.
that is inevitable. So the sooner that
Yeah.
you realize that people are just gonna, shit on whatever's, in front of them, people are just gonna sit on the sidelines doing nothing, contributing nothing, and fucking trying to tear people down. That's the way the internet works these days.
No, that's facts. I've had so much experience with people just that literally do nothing and they're just like, "Yeah, your stream needs to do this," and it's just so annoying because they literally do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to learn to look at it for any sort of like constructive feedback you can gain from it, but for the most part, a lot of those people are just trying to be negative, and you can't let them, control what you do, you know what I mean? Um
Yeah.
like even the most like celebrated and respected casters, people still do that to them. Like no one's going to ever escape it, you know what I mean? So you just can't let it control you, and you could honestly make that part of your persona or whatever, why people respect you, is that you just brush it off, do your thing, and maybe own up to when things go poorly for you. You can own up to it, whatever, and make fun of yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously, whatever. And I think people will come to recognize that as authenticity and come to respect you a lot more.
That's very true. I don't know. I think honestly, I think like why people like my commentary because I do get compliments here and there. Like people do tell me like your commentary is like good, you know, like you're funny, you know. So I think honestly, I think just being myself, just being goofy, just kind of hanging out, just calling it as I see it, you know. I think that's
Hmm.
probably just the way I should go about it.
Yeah, that's good, but certainly don't neglect having high game IQ or whatever. Know your stuff,
Oh, of course.
but know how to weave in all of that together so that you are the complete package, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. So right now, I would say if you haven't already, try and get some of your highlights or whatever together. Make like a, I guess, what do they call it? A portfolio, I guess, something like that. A reel that you can maybe show to people. Um, I don't know, just get your name out there. Say, I'm trying to commentate. This is what I'm capable of. I'd be happy to travel, whatever you're willing to do, however far you're willing to go. Just make sure people know it, and put that out there, but also reach out to the events that you want you know, to work or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I saw someone in chat say a video portfolio. Honestly, yeah, that's probably a good way to go down. I could probably put some, fun editing or
Hmm.
something. I don't know, just
Yeah.
something interesting.
Just something that captures what you can bring to the event. That's what you're trying to do. When someone watches your trailer, they should know exactly what they're going to get when they hire you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the Connie trailer. What is Connie all about? So,
Dang. I
um,
never thought of it like a trailer.
really? Okay, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this is actually pretty standard practice. So it would be certainly possible for you to go maybe do a bit of research and find examples of other people that have done this sort of thing. You know?
Yeah. I've seen it around a little bit. Like I've seen like kind of I guess voice acting or animation reel type stuff. So I think I just got to
Yeah.
think about commentary and some good clips of mine.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just find those people that are doing what you want to do and kind of emulate what they're doing. That's always a pretty reliable, approach.
Yeah.
Cool. So, tell me just to recap, what's your next step in commentary?
Right. Okay. So my next step in commentary. So, in terms of events, we're gonna, start small, just laid back, fun, competitive TF2 events, and then in terms of commentary, just gotta keep being myself, and I just gotta, what is it? Oh yeah, um, get that video portfolio, kind of make sure that people know what I'm about, what I'm capable of, and just go forward from there. Be expressive, and I guess try to get myself out there and reach out to some of the big boys, no matter how scary it is.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, that's perfect. Um, and just always remember, there's a lot of people out there that would love to be doing what you're doing, and you're already, you know, well on your way to doing it. So just keep it going. And I think, yeah, if you just stick to the plan, I think you'll make it.
Definitely, yeah. So, cool. I guess I'll get to the drawing board and I guess get some clips figured out once I'm done with that. I got some TF2 event planning.
Yeah. Okay. So you also mentioned in your post in the Discord that you were curious about other aspects of TF2. If you want, we can go into that. Up to you.
Yeah. I guess kind of. I guess kind of what I meant by that question was just how would I find people that because I don't know, like it's hard because I'm just one person. I can't really like do everything. Like I know how to do a lot of these things, but realistically, like you can't do all of it, especially for a game like TF2. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of curious, where do I go to find like other spectators, commentators, like even if they're small, like even if we're just hanging out, like you said, they're people that are learning, I'm not sure where to ask.
Right. Yeah, I could see it being a bit tricky. So I will say I already saw like maybe two people on the stream chat saying that they'd be interested in doing things like this. So, just spreading the word within the communities that you're already part of in TF2 would probably be pretty effective. I'm not sure if, you know, uh, there's like people that are in like Facebook groups for SoCal maybe or things like that. I know there are groups like that that do like SoCal Esports postings.
Yeah.
That could be something to look into. But within like the community itself, you know, Reddit and like other competitive forums, might as well just put it out wherever you can and try to, network with people that can maybe spread the word even further, or maybe directly reach out to people that are local that you want to attend or whatever.
Yeah, um, that's a good idea. I think maybe, I guess just kind of linking people because we kind of like to centralize things, but I guess I need to stop kind of focusing on getting people in and more so going out to the people type deal.
Hmm.
'Cause I
What's the
like to,
difference?
the difference is you kind of have to assume that people want to join a Discord when most of the time they usually just mute it anyway. So I think like maybe just going out and like making a thread or making a post somewhere, I think that's probably the route I need to
Okay.
go down instead.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit more a shift in your approach to like advertising could help for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, when I just to give you some like idea of what I did when I was trying to promote my local event, um I made a forum post on the TFTV forums. I could link it to you just for your reference.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Um, and I believe I, obviously talked about it on my stream quite a bit and talked about it probably on Twitter. And I may have also shared it on Reddit, I think. Nowadays, if I was trying to promote something like that, I would also definitely make sure to talk about it on my YouTube channel. I've discovered recently that YouTube is by far one of the most powerful tools just for spreading the word. You know, if I've got an event going on, like, or a giveaway or whatever, if I mention it on YouTube, the engagement goes way, way, way up. So that's not something to neglect if you have access to, you know, a YouTube audience or any audience like that. Just, yeah, spreading the word there is always a good idea.
Totally. Okay.
But let me track down that forum post for you real quick.
Yeah, sounds good.
Da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum. All right, I'm gonna message it to you on Discord.
Cool.
There's two of them because I did two.
Okay.
Da-da. Damn, we had a poster? I didn't even remember.
You got a poster? I want to see.
Yeah, in SoCal Series 2, we had a poster apparently.
Is it the Facebook link?
um,
Wait,
on number 2, you should
the
see a
imager?
poster.
Oh, damn, you did.
But
Ah.
yeah, I guess you can see sort of like what I went through, like the steps I took to start organizing it and spreading the word and all that. But it was 4 years ago, so maybe things have changed, but it's a template that succeeded, I would say. Obviously, it wasn't like a perfect event. We had our, you know, issues. The biggest thing that happened to us is that we did run into a lot of like scheduling delays. So that's another reason to start small, is that delays will not screw everything up. The smaller the scale, you know, if you're too ambitious, one thing that goes wrong could throw everything off. For you guys in chat that want to see,
Fine if I
I'll
copy
link it
paste
to you
the
guys.
poster in chat so they can see.
I'm just gonna post the threads. Yeah, you can post the link to the poster if you want.
Poster time.
Oh shit! I tried to
so
Discord format it.
yeah, that is something I was kind of worried about.
There's
with
that one,
schedule, but
and
I
then
guess,
there's this
you know,
one.
having like small teams,
Here's the second one.
at first is totally cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, because like when this is really helpful because like when I first envisioned it, I was like, okay, I have to like get like community medals. I have to get like all these people to do,
Oh
you know,
no.
it was like crazy, and I'm like,
Yeah,
now,
that's definitely overcomplicating things. What you need for an event is you need people playing the game on computers. That's all you really need at its essence. That's what an event should be. And mini rant, I actually have been so frustrated with a lot of things in the TF2 community where I just feel like the priorities are so backwards, where the priority is no longer like making games happen. It's how can we have the fanciest stream, or how can some person advance their career with production and all this. And it's like this should be about like competition. This should be about the game being played, not all this other stuff. And honestly, a lot of bridges have been burnt because of production, like drama and all that kind of stuff. And it's actually pretty upsetting if you look into it, what kind of consequences have come from straying away from just putting on good tournaments.
yeah, I've had my fair share of esports drama myself, so
Yeah, so I'd say try to avoid that as much as possible. Just make a good tournament, and in my opinion, if you make something good, people will want to watch it, even if, you know, the stream isn't perfect, even if, you know, it wasn't the most professional thing, whatever, you know. If people have a good time with it, they'll come back and they'll support it. That's my opinion.
totally awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, so I think that hits most of the main points that you had in your post on the Discord. Are there any other, you know, topics that you want to explore?
Um, yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm just in terms of like I guess asking people like you said, so just kind of like, do I just like post that we need like volunteers or like what? Or like,
Well, whatever you need, that's what you say you need. You know, if you need volunteers, say we're looking for a volunteer. If you need just players to commit to playing, then say that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just say what you need.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of better to just be straightforward and uh, don't overcomplicate things in that aspect as well. You know.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. So are you satisfied? Do you feel like this was productive? I'm just curious, since you're the first, victim, I suppose.
Ooh, first one, the lucky boy. Yeah, I feel like that was really helpful, honestly. Like, I think even just the concept of, like having somebody, I guess, do esports counseling with per se, was really helpful. I thought it was super cool. It was informative, and I got a, really good idea of what I need to do, and I guess what people are interested in and want to see. So that really helped me a lot.
Awesome. Happy to hear that. Cool, man. Well, good luck. If anything, ever advances or whatever, I'd be happy to hear about it and yeah, update us.
Of course.
Cool. So I guess I will let you go and we'll yeah, start prepping for the next person in the hot seat.
All right. Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. All right, that's Connie. Thanks, Connie. Everyone, give Connie your support. It was a big step by him to step up onto the stream and share his situation and all that. Clap, clap, clap. Good job, Connie. Thanks, man, for doing that. I think it went well so far, so I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty happy. We do have another person coming up in a moment. Let me just check in on chat. Yeah, let's bring in our next advice seeker. What must I do? Are you ready? Can you hop into a voice channel on my Discord and I'll drag you in here to the private channel? Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. How about you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Nice.
Enjoying myself.
Yeah, just yeah, it's pretty chill. And we're all just trying to be positive and supportive. I'm gonna try my best to just help you as much as I can, but yeah, just whatever you're comfortable with. We can get into this. Do you think you could start by giving us just some background? Tell us a little bit about the situation that you are seeking some advice about.
Yeah, for sure. So, my topic was gonna be a little more personal, I think, than Connie's, in the sense that my questions were a lot more vague and like general instead of specific. Like, I don't have a question on what specifically I need help with. Also introductions. I'm getting a little carried away. My name's What Must I Do? I'm in the chat sometimes. I have played TF2 since like 2011 on a bad laptop. That's, I feel like, how many people started, but yeah.
You've been playing since you're 11, and how old are you now?
I'm 19 years old.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm doing online college. My questions were about like just motivation,
Mm-hmm.
seeking advice on. Because so what started this is a few weeks ago I was working at a Walmart job,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got back home. It was like 1 a.m. for me. For you, it was a different time. You were in Habib's chat. You were talking about how a lot of people hate their jobs and want to pursue gaming, but they just don't do it, even though they have the means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that really struck a chord with me. And TF2 isn't my main game, but I
Mhm.
think it's kind of like the same level of like, I want to be doing this, but I'm doing something else. So,
Okay.
I
So,
don't know.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What's your main
You're good.
game?
My main game is another team-based shooter. It's not Overwatch. It's called Paladins. It's
Oh,
not
cool.
that popular, but
I
yeah.
know a bit about it. That's cool. So, all right. Anything else you want to share about background or the situation, or yeah?
Still living with my mom, so I have a lot of more options.
Okay, yeah.
But the main issue is just myself, like personal. I have a lot of mental blocks. You know, I come on to the stream a lot because you inspire me mentally, because you're a very like collected and strong-willed kind of character.
Mm,
That's something I really look up to because I consider myself to have a bit of a weak will, and definitely something I need to work on.
okay. Could you share like yeah, just some ways that that manifests for you? Like what makes you think that you have a weak will?
Sometimes I'll set out a goal for me in a week. Like for example, let's say I want to practice first scrim I have in Paladins. By the way, I'm not a high level player in that game or anything. Not like Kresnik. I've seen you play with him sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
I I'm trying to get up there, and sometimes I'll set a goal like I'll practice this specific class for like a certain amount of hours and get good at it. But then I get sidetracked. Like I'll watch a Twitch stream, or I'll get food and I'll be like, well, I don't want to get my keyboard dirty, so I start watching a stream. But then I take forever to eat, and then I just keep watching, or I just like watch videos, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very much decisions that I could be changing, but all my life I've been like that, so it's like a struggle to like flip the switch and just get better,
Right.
focus, you know.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with taking a lunch break or whatever, but it definitely sounds like you are trying to find a effective system for like staying focused and in the zone so you can continue to like practice productively. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. Um, so yeah, let's maybe see if we can come up with some like small steps that you could take that could help with that. So, do you practice at the same time every day with the same people? Like, are you on a team? What's the schedule like that you have right now?
So I am on a team, and it's a bit in chaos right now because our damaged players keep rotating in and out. We keep getting new ones. They keep quitting, but there are like a few core members that I could be playing with every night. But something just always comes up, and I'm not saying excuses. I'm saying I could change that, or I could schedule around it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could be doing that more. Definitely should try to play with my teammates more often.
Yeah, that could be a good way. Can you give us an idea of like sort of like the practice schedule, like that's standard for that game?
So this game's blocks are pretty. The teams do 1 hour blocks of scrims, which usually is like 3 matches because the games last a bit longer. Because there's a system where you have to pick which characters you want to play and then ban the ones that you don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So that lasts like a few minutes, and then you load in. That lasts like 30 minutes, and then there's a lot of minutes of like just waiting for the round to start. Because in TF2, you just go. You wait for a few seconds and then you go. It's fast paced action. My game is a bit slower. We scrim about 3 times a week on or four, hopefully. I scrimmed today against a high level team that was full of players from like World Series championships, and we got demolished. So the scrims haven't been too productive. We're trying to look for a team that is kind of on our level to practice against. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much the schedule. We just practice for an hour every day, and then we look VOD reviews. We watch what we went wrong. But I just feel like it's not productive enough. Like I feel like I'm stagnating. You know.
Yeah. To me, 1 hour seems a bit light. Are you playing, individually, personally, outside of the team environment as well?
I do play individually. I play with a friend sometimes. I play by myself a few hours. I actually think I play more than some of the other people on the team, which I'm kind of disappointed with. But I think that getting them to play with me, we all play together, that would be a good solution.
Mm-hmm. Within the team, like, what's your role? Are you just another player? Are you a leader? Like, how does it stack up?
I want to become a leader. Right now, I'm just another player. Like I'm kind of newish. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to make like calls to make a play, but I'm too scared, so I don't do it. But the other player, but I am like in this game there's tanks. I'm one of the tanks, so I feel like I have that like option to. I want to make something happen. Let's go make something happen. So I
Okay.
want to start adapting towards that mentality.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Do you think that you're like, what's holding you back from improving? Is it just that the 1 hour isn't enough? Is it just getting distracted? What do you think it is?
I think I have some questions that would be pretty relatable to a lot of people in chat right now. I haven't been
Sure.
looking at chat. Oh god, I'm being added a lot. I'll read all these later. But it's an issue. One issue I have is like it's a mental thing outside of the game where I want to be like, well, I really would love to dedicate myself to this, but I'm scared. And I kind of want to stream as well. Start getting into streaming, learn all about that world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired by you always telling people that they should stream. They should like you inspire your teammates to stream more, to make more content. I love seeing that. I love
Yeah.
watching Eric videos,
Mm-hmm.
and you watching you inspire your own teammates. That's like it is inspiring. But basically, okay, let me get to the point. I'm struggling with like, yes, I want to play game, even if it's not that game, a game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pursue that, but I'm 19 years old. You know, I'm in college.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm kind of in a spot where I have to make a decision like now, and I have to commit. So I'm like being pulled in a lot of different directions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure you have a lot going on with the school and all that, and it's probably very stressful. But I will say that 19 is still young in my opinion. So don't really worry too much about that. I think it's good that this is on your mind because there's a lot of people out there that are probably, gonna put off making these kinds of decisions for several years, and then maybe it will actually be too late or whatever, and they're gonna just have regrets. So I think
Right.
you're in a good place to be thinking about this now. That being said, let's see. If we could go back a bit, you said that you're interested in streaming, making content, and all that.
Of
Really,
course.
really, all it takes to stream is to install OBS and press a button, right? So it's not something that I think you need to build up as this big thing. With all of these sort of projects or whatever, the best thing to do is always just to take the first step and just try it. And let me just give you an example. I've been streaming for I guess 5 years or so, a little over that. Let me pull up a old video of my stream from back then and just compare that to what my stream looks like now, just to illustrate that, like, if I was gonna hold myself to the standard that I have now, I never would have started streaming, right? Because I've got like a high def camera, I've got 2 monitors, I've got fancy like microphone, all this stuff. I would have never started, right? But if I just start with, my dimly lit room with a, pixely webcam with a terrible stream, outline or sorry, stream overlay and all that, then, I just started. I did what I could with what I had and learned from there. And that's what you got to do is just start and learn, because streaming is a long-term thing. It's not a thing that you expect to master in one day, you know what I mean? Just like anything else. But yeah, let me grab that VOD for you. But you tell me if that sort of makes sense or if that resonates with you.
Well, it does actually. Like that's one thing that I didn't even realize that was kind of holding me back is like I do think I worry too much about perfection and like making something really good before I even know what I'm doing in the first place. Like if I want to stream and I want to get a good overlay or like good mic setup, I gotta at least try and see what I'm doing wrong. You know, that's good advice.
Yeah, certainly. And another thing where this could help you is that so I've found for me, streaming can often help me to play longer than I might otherwise. So for you, when you're in this situation where you think, you're not playing enough or practicing enough, whatever, streaming could actually be a bit of a motivation for you to, extend your hours a little bit and stay, in game, because, you've got to make sure the stream is on and, you're not just stepping away for 40 minutes to eat, that kind of thing.
Oh,
So
yeah, of
it could
course.
actually help to hold you more accountable for that situation as well.
Yeah, and I love that. Yeah, like mainly, I guess my only worry with streaming is that I want to be, if I do it, I don't want to be like the kind of person that streams one day, 4 days later, another stream at a different time of day. I want to like be consistent. I don't know if I should be
Yeah.
worrying about that part or if that is the one important part. Like,
Again, I wouldn't worry about that yet. Just stream, even if it is some
okay,
random ass time, the first step is just doing a stream, right? And then you look on it and say, okay, how did that go? What do I want to change? Do I want to stream at a different time? Do I want to stream longer? All these sort of things. Those things you can figure out later. Um, they are important, and I can give you advice if you want to try to grow your stream, but I think we don't even need to worry about that. Step one is stream. Do something. Make a stream happen, make a few streams happen, then, we could check back and see where to go from there, you know what I mean? I don't
yeah,
want to overwhelm you with even more stuff because you're already in your head enough about perfection. I don't need you to worry about all that. You just need to stream once so you know what that is. Stream a few times, whatever, and then you'll already start learning. I'm sure even after a few streams, you're like, I like this, I didn't like that, I want to adjust this, and it'll get those wheels turning, and that also might be motivating for you. I know it is for me, just having this project and this thing that I have complete ownership of, that I can make it whatever I want, and I can always track the improvement of, you know what I mean?
yeah. Like it's interesting to
All right,
see your older
let's.
VODs over time, how much the stream has changed.
All
Yeah,
right,
like with any streamer, that's something
check this
definitely.
out.
But what did I want to
Are you
say?
still on my Twitch chat, by the way?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
re.
post. I'm gonna post a video on there. I want you to open it up and take a look.
All right.
This is me. This is my stream, but from a long time ago, right?
Oh damn.
It's completely different, but at least I was streaming, right? It wasn't
You're still
perfect.
fraggy.
Yeah, damn right. I've been fragging since I was 9 years old, but
Oh man.
look at that.
Looks so. He's still reclining. You've always reclined?
Yeah, that's one thing that I probably will never grow out of.
Damn.
It's really comfortable. I don't know. And with some camera tricks, no one can even notice it anymore. That's
I do
something I
actually.
learned by streaming.
I do actually have a random question about that. Like, it's just so odd that you recline. That when I learned, because you do the camera trick works. Like, I didn't even know you were reclining until the end of the
Yeah.
stream. Like, you moved up, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Is that something you just have always done, or like you have
Yeah.
a chair back then that reclined, or how do you
Yeah.
get comfortable? Like,
Yeah, that's literally all it is. I didn't know better. That's what so many of my setup quirks are. Is just it's just how I learned, when I was a kid who didn't know better, and it works. So I just play however I'm comfortable. I think comfort is very important for playing at your best. So for me, getting that lean at the optimal angle, that's my comfort zone. That's where I feel the most powerful. And yeah, um, that's all it is.
yeah, like you're right. I should just do things like a lot. I like how whenever people ask you a question about something, they're asking you for some insight about why you do certain things. You just say, "Well, I've just always done them." You didn't do too
Well,
much research.
for some people, yeah, that might be upsetting because they want a good reason, but um, yeah, it goes back to just trying things and seeing what works and all that. You don't need to have the perfect answer because you can arrive at the perfect answer for you by simply, experimenting,
Okay. Yeah.
Big Dax Arenas, thank you for the 8-month resub.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I was coming into this a little nervous, but it does lighten the mood a bit.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. What, to see my old terrible streams?
It did a little bit. It helped me a little bit. It made me
Yeah.
realize that, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I feel like I can give advice, is because I've been through all of these things myself. So yeah, I'm saving you the trouble, basically, of needing 5 years of iteration to just like realize that that's
So,
what you got to do. You know, just start.
so actually, do you have a question about something you said on stream earlier? Is that you said like when you were in ninth grade,
Hmm.
you switched to TF2 so that you could make video gaming more casual,
Hmm.
so that you could focus on other things. What
Yeah.
made you like, or what made you realize that you could actually you do TF2 as like a career, and what convinced you to pursue it, I guess?
Okay. So I I went into ninth grade in 2007, and I didn't go full time in TF2 until 2014. So there were 7 years in between. I actually probably could have done it much sooner, but I just didn't have the confidence to take that leap, and I didn't plan well for that because I was sort of aimless and lazy and clueless and all that. So a lot of that, is my fault that it took 7 years. But I probably the soonest I could have done it would have been. I mean, I guess streaming wasn't really big enough and viable enough until like maybe 2013. But maybe even a little bit before that. If I was a pioneer, it could have been whatever. But YouTube was the big one that I missed out on for a long, 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 long time. And it sort of pains me to think about all the years of amazing content that I could have made if I had just, pushed myself to do that. But that aside, yeah, so just for the story that you were asking about, in 2007, I decided to stop playing competitive COD. I was playing COD 1, COD 2, COD 4. I was kind of juggling all those games. And I was involved in this kind of strange league that had these 12-hour battles. So I would often play 12 hours straight of COD on, Saturdays and Sundays. And occasionally, I think they had Wednesday battles as well. So I'd come home from school and like I would check on my team, like, oh man, you guys lost the early afternoon battle. Okay, I'll come carry and like turn this around or whatever, and just play until the end of the night. So I started thinking, oh man, well, I'm going into high school. I need to reel this back. So I decided to play TF2, but I had that competitive drive still. And so I'd be pub stomping, and eventually I just got roped into playing competitively, and it was very, fun and satisfying. And I just, went with the flow. Eventually, after many years of just sticking to it, being dedicated, putting in the time, putting in the work, traveling to events, going through all kinds of, team shuffles and all this. Eventually, I found myself on, the best team in the world, in Froyo
Playing the
Tech.
best game in the world.
That too, yes. But and I realized that, yeah, I didn't need to. I don't know. I didn't need to hold myself back anymore. Like I can be kind of whatever I want it to be. I didn't need to worry about like people judging me or watching me on a stream, because I knew that we were the best. So I just go for it. So it kind of took me a long time to reach that, and yeah, I'd really like to save people 7 years of grinding to just start, because I started streaming regularly in September 2014, and I went full time November 2014, 2 months later. So if I never would have taken that first step, like I never would have been able to have the last 5 years. And who knows, I could have done that a year before, 2 years before. Who knows? If I just would have taken that first step and tried it, I could have had everything that I wanted way sooner. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I didn't mean to make it derail it or make it sound like I was starting to interview you, but
No,
these are
it's
pretty
fine.
relevant questions.
Yeah. I'm happy to explore all these avenues, just because, yeah, I think it is relevant. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you were just always fragging since the beginning. You kept fragging, you kept putting in that time until people started recognizing you.
Yeah.
It's always fun for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Would you ever?
that's one of the things that I've been very thankful for is just that the games that I've had the chance to play are games that I truly do love. COD 1 and COD 2 I really liked. Unreal Tournament before that, TF2. So I've always had games that I just really, really liked, and I could just completely devote myself to with, no burnout, really none of that, and just go for it.
Okay. I'll ask another question before I head out because I don't know if anyone else has a segment. I don't really see anyone in chat, but I do want to let you
I don't
close the
have.
stream on whatever you were planning on.
Well, yeah, you can take your time. Actually, we can go until midnight if we need to. I have about 50 minutes to an hour left. And I actually don't have anyone else lined up, so don't feel like you gotta wrap it up or anything yet. But whatever you want. Yeah.
In that case, then, was there ever a moment where you were? I know you just said like you've always been having fun. You always enjoyed what you're doing. But have you ever been? You've been asked if you've been burnt out before. That's not exactly what I'm trying to ask. Have you ever been like frustrated with yourself or like trying or like you thought you should be doing better than you were? Or one more thing I saw you mention in Habib's stream is that people actually no, you said this elsewhere, but you said people shouldn't be entitled about themselves, entitled to have a better outcomes and matches or scrims or whatever if they don't put in the time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like that, or if so, or if you never did, that's cool. But if you ever did, how did you climb out of that mindset, get into the mindset of I want to be good, I gotta get good?
I would say that I've always had the mindset of like needing to practice, starting from the bottom and working my way up. But I found myself at times where I don't know, I wasn't playing well or whatever, and I'd get frustrated and all that kind of stuff. Like I've had my own ups and downs, but I've always been fairly focused on improving. I don't know. I think it may have just been like a maybe a cultural thing. I don't know. Things have definitely changed a bit, I would say, where just because people are so much more aware of the heights that you can achieve with like streaming and gaming and all this. They see the giant stadium events, all that. They set their expectations to that. But I don't know. You have to put it in perspective that like that's a huge deal. Like you aren't going to start there. My first LAN that I ever went to was in a college gymnasium, on like rented tables with like scuffed setups and like I don't know, it's just like BYOC LAN. I shipped my computer in a cardboard box down to California. Like did
it make it okay?
Yeah, thankfully it did. But yeah, it was I don't know. That's what we did back then. And so I think we're a little bit more just like realistic with our expectations maybe back then. This was, maybe 2009 or something. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was around 2009 through maybe 2011 at the latest. But
there's kind of a charm to that though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like absolutely. Like it was all about the games then. People weren't too worried about all the production.
Yeah, and what did we upgrade to after that? We went to ESEA LAN, which was in a hotel ballroom, which a ballroom basically just means a spare room with some carpet. Like that's what we upgraded to, with again just like fold out tables, chairs that didn't lean, just all this stuff. Like that was what we had, and we accepted it, and we just like did our best, and we didn't worry about all the details of it because we were there to play the game. We weren't there for fame and fortune, which I think a lot of people get distracted by right now. The thing is, if you take the steps to climb the ranks, all that stuff comes to you naturally. Success shouldn't be the goal. I think the goal should be to create a system that is natural for you to progress towards what you actually want, if that makes sense.
It does in a way. Like
Yeah,
I should just start finding that system, finding
those are great rooms. Yeah, I've got fond memories.
the schedule of like finding the methods of getting there and then worrying about making those methods better, perfecting that, applying myself basically instead of
Mhm.
worrying about the end goal.
Yeah, yeah, and also I'll just just let you know, like, this is, again, you're young, and that time is on your side. You have a long time to try different things, but as long as you have that focus on, like, self improvement and reaching, like, I don't know, a better future or whatever. Um, as long as that's always on your mind and you're taking some small step towards it every day, I'm very confident you'll figure it out. I think you may also, well, you should be proud of yourself that you took that risk in, quitting that job that you were miserable with. You should be proud that you were able to take that step, and think about how that made you feel to take that big step. There are opportunities for you to do that again and again and again. Take a risk that's gonna just make you feel like you're doing exactly, what you were meant to do, kind of thing. Does that make
So
sense?
so you think it's possible, like, for someone at my age, starting at pretty low level, if I keep, like, if I just immediately just take more risks, start grinding, get up
Absolutely.
there,
Now is the time
I
to
can
take
do it?
risks, honestly. Like, you don't have to pay rent, I assume. You're living with your mom, you said?
No, and I actually found a like pretty good odd job that'll
Okay.
help me a bit. And yeah, my living situation is pretty good. So a little bit more background. I'm
Hmm.
studying computer security at a community college, basically, and I kind of enjoy it, but I enjoy this more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Um, so while I did say, taking risks is important, also planning, well, having backups,
Exactly.
having,
Yeah, like I'm
a
not about to drop
foundation.
out or
Yeah.
anything.
Um, okay, that's good. Hopefully, you have that mapped out as well, what you want to do with your education and your career in the case that, that's the route that you um
Have to take.
have to take. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but always, I'd say, don't give up on the thing that you're most passionate about, because I believe there's always a way to make it happen. Um, but yeah, you're young, and you do have plenty of time. Now is definitely always going to be the best moment to take some risk, to take some sort of step like this. Um, so what kind of, I don't know, are there any other, like, risks or things you've been considering, things you've been on the fence about, or are you really, like, committed to what you just described, like the Paladins route? Is that the route that you think you'd be most, like, certain that's the route you want to pursue, or what do you think?
So I know you in the chat isn't very in touch with the Paladins competitive scene, but it's not in a good place either.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna go into it, but
Okay.
um, there is one odd factor in my life right now that's kind of weird. That is one of those I need to take into consideration. Is you know, I'm young. I'm in a relationship right now. It's pretty weird. It's a long distance online relationship that I've been
Okay.
in for 2 years already. So I feel pretty serious about her, and
Okay.
she's gonna be watching this later. 'Cause she's proud of me. Like she's supportive of everything I do. Like if I become a pro
Hmm.
elite gamer or whatever, she'll be happy with it. But
All
I
right.
do want to like take something like that into consideration as well. Like
Okay.
should I? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, um, I don't even know if that has any relevance to this, but
Well, it's
that's
it's
just a
really
factor,
good that
basically.
you have someone who's, supportive of you. I think that's great. Um,
Yeah.
and it's up to you, like, how, like, comfortable, like, you two are about, like, working together on these sort of things, or if, you're sort of more independent and all that. But it's good that, you guys can share that support with each other. That's great. Um, are there some factors that you feel like that holds you back, or uh, Like, is it a consideration, like a concern, like, for example, that you want to provide for her or something, that's a factor? Is that something?
She just has a tough, like, she just basically has a little bit of a rough life, and she wants to provide, basically. She wants to be pretty independent on her own. She wants to be a therapist, whatever. She has her career planned out. It's not that I want to provide for her. It's more like I want to be sustainable a little bit to help with that at least. And I want to, like, if I do pursue this, she doesn't have a computer, so she can't play with me. And even if I did, if she could, be spending a lot of time playing scrims or with teammates, I'd be playing with other people. So I just wouldn't be spending a very much amount of time with her, and it's hard because she can't really come over because she's in Massachusetts and I'm in Texas.
Okay.
So,
yeah. One piece of advice I can give you about like long distance relationships, online relationships, and gaming, like how it all intertwines. I personally would advise to try to keep them separate, if that makes sense. Like,
okay.
your world is, Paladins or whatever your game is. I think that it gets really messy and tricky if you try to connect the two. So I would say, if you can, keep your personal relationships like out of like a competitive environment. I don't think that's a healthy environment for an online relationship, to be honest.
Okay.
But games can be fun, but I would say I would suggest trying to find a game that is neutral, not like your game, because I don't know, it can just get weird, it's really complicated and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I play like a mobile game, Clash Royale, with her sometimes.
Yeah, that's
pretty much
great.
the extent of gaming that we do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there because I've been through
I
some pretty
appreciate
bad
it a
stuff
lot
with that.
because I have been like, she does ask about my passion, like Paladins, the game, and she does want to be involved. But that is one worry I had, that maybe it'd be best not to
Yeah,
join.
I mean, I think it's just to clarify, I like, for example, I don't think you guys should play on the same team or something. I don't think you should
Yeah.
play,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
in a
Like,
competitive
don't get
environment.
her involved
But it could
competitively,
be,
right?
unless she wants to do it on her own, you guys should just, yeah, not be teammates, because I think that that's not healthy for the relationship, in my opinion. But if she's curious about the game, I think that's cool. You can tell her about it. I've had fun, explaining TF2 to people I was in a relationship with. Get them to check it out because it's important to you, right? The game.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I definitely didn't disrespect TF2. She knows
yeah,
all about that.
yeah. Well, that's not what I was saying. I'm just saying, like, whatever's important to you, as long as she's supportive and she understands it and accepts you, that's good. If she's curious about it, cool. But this is just a very specific thing. But I think you get it. Don't overlap those two worlds too much, because it'll just lead to danger.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I do. You're right. I'm starting to stutter. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. I'll rewatch this later, and
Mm-hmm.
it's good. I think it's about time to wrap it up. For me personally, getting
Okay.
a bit late, got a few things to do, but I appreciate you talking with me one on one a lot. You're
Yeah.
not. It's not very common that a streamer like reaches out to his community, her community, and gives people the chance to do something like this. And so I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity you're providing people. It's
Oh,
really cool. It's really cool.
cool. I'm glad that you like it. That's great feedback. Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot so far. So, yeah, thanks. I would, before you go, I would like to
Uh-huh.
just get you to sort of recap and tell me what's one step that you're going to take that will help you towards, your
Of
goals.
course. Yeah, I'm going to DM my teammates and tell them to get off their asses and play some matches with me. And yeah, you're right. I don't have a perfect streaming setup. I'm gonna have 0 viewers maybe, but that shouldn't matter. I should just start, start. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna start. That's all, basically.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. I think that's a great first step.
Right. And to recap everything we said, like, yeah, basically just struggling with where I want my life to go. My segment was about, for people tuning in late or whoever's in chat, my segment was about personal struggles. I want to do competitive gaming, but I'm worried about interlapping school and relationship. Banny's advice is basically, if I stay focused, if I plan out something specific, like get my team involved, play more, start the stream going, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just start doing it right now. Things will just start falling in place, basically, as long as I keep putting in the effort.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good. And just last piece, when you're talking to your teammates and you're trying to get them to commit, try to be very specific, you know, what time you're going to play, all that. Get it so that there's no misunderstanding, there's no room for, you know, excuses, you know, just
Okay,
get
cool.
and
Thanks.
another good thing is your teammates can help hold you accountable, and you holding them accountable can also, you know, circle back and give you that responsibility and that commitment to being there. So that's sort of a hack for a lot of things. If you're ever feeling like you just don't have the motivation or whatever, if you can hold yourself accountable to someone else, it can often just force you to do it. I don't know if, for me at
That's
least,
actually true.
I don't like letting other people down. If I promise that I'm going to do something for them, if I promise I'm going to show up at a certain time, I feel terrible if I don't do it. So, but if I just promise myself I'm going to do something, you know, well, I'll do it another time, whatever. I'll just be really lazy about it. So, yeah, involving other people, helping them, and them helping hold you accountable, it can actually be a huge game changer.
Absolutely, I feel the same way. It feels horrible to tell someone that you're gonna do something and then you're just gone. I don't think
Yeah.
it's funny, or I don't think that's funny at all.
Oh,
Basically,
that's good. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that I've dealt with in TF2, for example, where they just seemingly they have no regard for anyone else's time. They have no respect for other people, and it's that really pisses me off. And I see it from young kids, like some of the kids I've, you know, run
Yeah.
into in like pugs, all the way up to people that are way older than me that are running TF2 lands. Won't name names, but yeah, they just they have no accountability to other people that are depending on them, and it's absolutely shameful. But yeah, if you wanna end it there, I think it was really good talking with you. So thanks for coming on here, and yeah, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me, Benny. Good luck with whatever you're gonna do now. See you later.
Thanks. All right, see ya. All right, so those were the two people I had lined up, and so I guess if we want to end the advice segment here, we can. It seems while we were going through this, a couple people actually submitted more applications. I assume that means that people are thinking that this could give some value to them. So yeah, I thought it went pretty well. If you guys have any feedback, please let me know. I enjoyed it. So right now I'm thinking I would try and do this again, maybe regularly. I don't know how often, but it was also really good for me because I've been wanting to branch out a little bit with my stream content, and doing things like this reminds me that I can do that, because it's a very limiting thing that I've often had in my head. Is like, you know, oh, I can only stream TF2, you know, whatever. And again, it doesn't matter how many viewers I have, whatever. It's just the fact that I can do it. No one can stop me, you know. Who's to say if I don't stream just chatting more often that some people are going to come discover the stream and hang out more often, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's often these self-imposed limiting beliefs that are gonna doom us. So we gotta recognize them, step one, and then start taking steps to defy them, you know. So yeah, that was good.